Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Shores, One Story. I'm your host, Matthew. How are you doing? I am so tired. Why, you might ask? I just finished eating a big dinner, but even more than that, I finished making 6 pieces of chicken, and it was exhausting. I've never done that before. Why am I making 6 pieces of chicken? Because I'm meal prepping. And because we're in spring break right now, it started on the 26th, my birthday, we don't have school lunch. So I have to make my lunches. And it's great, but I decided to make 6 pieces of chicken today, which I've never done before, but it worked out pretty well because, they each, I put 2 pieces of chicken on a tray in my air fryer, 200 degrees Celsius, 10 minutes each side about, and it's done. So I did that. I made potatoes. I think I talked about it last week, but I made these soy sauce potatoes. Not soy sauce, but they're 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, meating, and cooking sake with a little bit of water. And this time I was lazy, so I did not peel the potatoes, but you can, but I didn't care. So I just cut them into, kind of bite-sized pieces and just put them in my rice cooker. I put the sauce on. You can put the sauce first or after, it doesn't matter. I put the water in and I put it in my rice cooker and I clicked on. That's all I had to do, and it takes about, I think an hour actually, even though my timer says 50 minutes, but when it gets to 10 minutes, it kind of stays there for a bit. I don't know why, but it worked out well. So I had pretty much all the chicken made. I had the last 2 in the oven, and then it started beeping, which means it's actually 10 minutes. And then I made broccoli, frozen broccoli, pepper, salt. That's all I did. And I have my meals set for tomorrow, Thursday lunch, because I have a dinner with some people, and Friday lunch and dinner. I have to make some. Well, maybe I don't have to make rice. I don't know. I thought I did, but I have a lot of potatoes left. So, anyways, you just heard me rant about my dinner. It's so exciting. But, why am I doing this whole stuff? Like, I do have a reason in not having lunch, but also, I am being more meticulous because today, when you hear this episode, it will be April 1st, April Fools, but this is not a joke. I am starting a cut. Woo! I have done a cut last year. It was my first cut ever, and I lost 8 kilograms. And that was 75 going on to 64. Does that add up? No, I don't know. I know I lost 8 kilograms, so you can do the math. But I am now 70 kilograms. As I weighed myself today, 70.3 kilograms, and I want to be 62 kilograms. I think that's a good number. I think 60 is too much. So I want to go a little bit below where I was last time, which I think was around 64 kilograms. So 62, I think, is a good goal. That's what I'm going to do, whatever comes first, if I get 62 kilograms or if August 31st comes, whichever one happens first. So I'm starting my cut tomorrow, which means no breakfast anymore, just protein shake. I have my big meal, my first meal of the day at lunch, and then I have my dinner. So I just have to track my calories, which I finally put new batteries in my food scale. So now I can track my calories more accurately. And with the meal I just made, I kind of failed. At the start, I was really good. I wrote all the grams down for chicken, potatoes, broccoli, but then I kind of forgot to zero it out after I put something in. So, for example, I put the chicken in and then I put the potatoes in without zeroing out the chicken. So I kind of estimated, but that's okay because it around it's kind of a ballpark anyways, and with the meal I'm having, there's not much that can go wrong. I just have to make sure I'm having enough protein. And I put the whole chicken in. So I ate one of them for dinner. So I have 5 pieces of chicken left. And I put each piece of chicken that I had in a thing. So I think I'm good for protein, great for calories, and it's a great time to be with Matthew. But it was a lot to do and a lot of thinking on my part, and I need bigger Tupperware because the Tupperware that I have doesn't fit everything that I want it to, which means I can't have as much starch as I would like. Or, not enough chicken. So I kind of have to figure that out. But again, you're listening to me rant about my chicken. It's great. Let's switch topics because I just started the cut. Well, tomorrow I start the cut. And actually, after this, I've been so exhausted with the cooking that I'm going to eat a cookie after this. So it doesn't even matter that I did all that prep, maybe not. But today's March 31st, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my whatever I can have, my freedom, my caloric freedom. That's a new word. Before I go my caloric deficit. Oh gosh. If you have meal prepped, before we switch topics, if you have meal prepped, if you have been on a cut, let me know in the comments. What do you recommend? What Tupperware do you recommend? Because I need to know. My Tupperware is great, but not big enough. I need help. Please help me. Oh my goodness. Anyways, last week was the 26th of March, my birthday, and I turned 29, and I already talked about what I feel about turning 29. I talked about it last episode, so I'm not going to go into that again, but I want to talk about what happened on the 25th and on the 26th and the rest of the time as well. So the 25th was the last day of school. So we had, all ALTs and all teachers had to dress up a little bit more fancily because we had our, what's it called? We had our closing ceremony, and then after that, we had our leaving teachers farewell ceremony. So I put on a suit with a tie, and it wasn't my white tie because for grad you have to wear a white tie and it's very strict. But for other occasions you can wear any color of tie. So I decided, I want to bring in spring. So I wore a pinkish tie with blue. So some people thought it was silver, but I'm like, no, it's pink. But it's a bit confusing. There's like blue specks in it. It's a really fancy tie. I don't remember where I got it actually, but I brought it with me from Canada. So I wore that tie, and it was a good event, good day. Nothing really like spectacular happened during the closing ceremony other than it was so cold in the gym. It was freezing. So next time I need to remember to bring some Kaido, which if you don't know what Kaido is, it's like a heating pad thingy. You can stick, it depends on what you get, but there's one that you can stick on your clothes, and I like that one. But you can also put one in your pocket. So there's ones that can't stick, so you put those in your pocket and then you can hold them. They're great. I wish we had them in Canada. Like, why don't we? I think I should send some to my parents because they would really like that. It's so cool. Just such a cool invention by Japan. So thank you, Japan, for that. So yeah, it was just so cold. Then, we had a break after for maybe about 30 minutes or so, I think. And then we got ready for the farewell event. So the teachers that were leaving waited outside, and the rest of us lined up. The kids sat down and waited. And then the leaving teachers came, sat on a chair on the stage, and then they each gave a little speech. My two of them meant a lot to me. The music teacher who I worked with for 2 years, she's kind of choked up a little bit during her speech, and she sang a song. So the song is called Faito. I don't know who by, I forgot, but it's a really, really powerful song, and she did it a cappella, of course, being a music teacher. And then after her was my English teacher, who I have worked with for also 2 years, but we have gotten so close, really good friends. We work well together. I think I've talked about this last week as well. So I cried a little bit for her too. And then the rest of the teachers gave their speeches, did not cry. Then some of the kids give, there's like a representative kid, or I don't know how they choose it, but let's say there's how many? There was 7 teachers leaving. So there's 7 students, and they each give one teacher a bouquet of flowers and say some words to them. So just watching that was really touching, because I got to see, really important students and those teachers' lives say the last farewell before the kids have to go. And I just think it was just nice. I saw some teachers hug the students, which meant a lot too. And then after that, we do what's called a hanamichi, or flower road, flower way, maybe. But basically the teachers walk through us in the middle, and we're on each side of them, and we just clap. And my music teacher was last out of the teachers that were in the line, and she was giving special attention to some kids, like the kids in her club, the Wind Orchestra Club. And that was so special. So I had to turn around and wipe my eyes. That was kind of embarrassing. Maybe the kids saw me, whatever. It was emotional, should I say. And that was it. The kids left. We had bento. It was really good, very fancy, and very expensive. Then we just, I don't know, did nothing. I worked a little bit, but I studied mainly until 4 p.m. And then I had, that day, there was a nomikai. As I think I talked about this last week as well. There's a big nomikai on the 25th. Every school pretty much has theirs on the 25th. So I had a little bit of time to nap. So, because I was tired. So I had a little nap. But for some reason, I was stupid, and I set the alarm on the wrong my timer, not my alarm. I set the timer incorrectly, because I was supposed to leave my house, my apartment, at like 7. Oh, well, I was supposed to meet a teacher. He was going to drive me because I was going to drink. He told me that he would be at the place that I told him to be at 5:20. And for some reason, I thought that we would meet at 5:30. So I set the timer originally for the time that I was supposed to be, but then I changed it, I think, to like 7 or 5:17. And it takes like 3 minutes to walk to where I was supposed to meet him, but I set it for 5:17. So I got up, I was doing my hair fixing it because I was resting. And then I had a realization. I was like, oh no, I have to meet him. So I quickly stopped and I ran, and he just finished parking and I was there. So that was perfect timing, but that was kind of bad. Anyways, we made it. We picked up another teacher. We were there first at the restaurant, izakaya. Um, got ready, and then people came and we started ordering drinks. The first drink I got was a kokuhai, which I don't or kodahai, sorry. I don't know quite what a high, like, it's a high chew, I think, but I don't know what a high is. It's Coca-Cola with something mixed in it, but it was good. So I got that. I got umeshu, which is a plum liqueur drink. So tasty. I like to get it with soda, but you can also get it on the rocks if you like it a little bit more stronger. They have many options for that. I also got something else, maybe a peach soda. I think that's what it was. I don't remember actually, but I wasn't feeling anything. I wanted to get drunk. I was there. I had a mission because I don't have alcohol usually at these things. But it's the day before my birthday. I want to get a little bit drunk. So, but nothing was working. So I ended up getting sake, nihonshu, and I've never ordered any sake. So it's just hilarious because you get this little glass, which I remember learning about for N1, but I kind of forgot. But I think it's a sake. I don't remember, but it's a special cup for sake. And then you get this bottle with it. And I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like a little urn. That's the shape of it, like a little pot, and it's like clay, kind of. Maybe. It's some type of ceramic or whatever. It's really funny. And then you have the sake in it. So, I guess it's customary for someone else to pour because, who was it? Someone poured for me, but it was okay. It had like, that sake flavor. It wasn't terrible. Like usually I think bad sake kind of burns a little bit, but that sake was good. So I, I had that, and then I moved to another table because we weren't all at the same table. So I brought my little cup and I brought my my clay bottle of sake and finished it up at another table. And just funny, just hilarious. But I did feel something after. And the food was good, but I don't really remember it that much. It was good, and we finished quite early. So my next move was to meet my elementary school because they always have a second party and they do karaoke, which is my main prerogative always. So I try to call my vice principal, but I can't get their contact. They don't answer. So my office manager calls their office manager, and luckily he answers. And they're still doing their first party. So I went over, and thanks to a teacher for driving me there, I went over, and they're all kind of a little bit drunk at this point. At least they're all having a good time. So I enter, I open the door, and I peek through, and they're like, Mashu! Like, egg, that's my name in Japanese, is Mashu, by the way. So they egg me on to sit down, and I do. And then I ask one of the teachers, because, teachers are leaving, but I have no idea who. So I'm asking, who's leaving? And he tells me this person, this person, this person, and the vice principal. And I'm like, huh? Not the vice principal? They are one of my favorite staff members at the elementary school. They are so kind, so cheerful, but they also can handle a lot of stuff. So I was shocked that they're leaving. So sad, actually. Very unfortunate. But that's the case, I guess. They have to leave. And the good ones leave faster. So, after I found that out, I went to her and we talked for a lot, and it just really good conversation just with her. She's so cool, as I said before. So we talked about different things, and I don't know how it got on, but her and another teacher were asking me like, what are your plans after Jet? And I said, well, to- tomorrow I turn 29 as the start of my, long spiel that I do. And she she stopped everybody from talking. And she's like, it's Mashu's birthday. So they all sang to me. And then I had to do a speech because that's what happens at my elementary school. I've seen it like at meetings. Sometimes after a meeting happens, they'll like celebrate the people of that some teachers' birthdays that are on that month. So for example, March, 2 people had their birthday, so there's 2 people, and then they give them a little flower and whatnot. But they have to do a little speech. So I had to do one too, and I didn't know what to talk about because I was just put on the spot. Oh my goodness. But, when you're an ALT, you just have to improvise, and that's what I did. But I forgot everything I talked about, but I know the start was, every time I ask students how they are, if they're happy, none of them raise their hands. And then I did fix it because I know my 3rd graders do. So the 3rd grade teacher was there, so I had to fix it. But I said, I like to find reasons to be happy. And I think it's generally true, especially with the kids, just to make it fun for them a little bit. So I always say like, oh, it's sunny, or oh, it's Friday, and then I was so good with it. I was like, and I'm surrounded by great teachers all the time. So I'm happy. And then I just said, I think I said, I'm scared about turning 29, which wasn't great in that crowd because most of them are way older than 29. But it's my last year of being a 20-year-old, so I'm a bit scared. And I think they understood. And I just hope I want to do some stuff. So I think they all liked it. It was good. And then they clapped. And when I got there, backtracking a little bit, I ordered umeshu. I ordered umeshu, and then I had a Coke drink as well, and I was feeling it so much so that I had to get a drink of water. I had to ask. I was like, Mizu, itadakimasu ka? That's what I said. Goodness gracious. Itadakimasu ka? Which means, can I humbly receive water? I was being nice because I think they wanted me to pay, but because I got there at a weird time, I didn't pay, but it was okay. In the end, I'm not a thief. So I got some water, and I talked to other teachers as well, and then, we finished the first party. A few of us, including the vice principal, went out to search for a karaoke bar, and I found one because I know all the good places. Not really, but one of them was open. So we went there and sang, and it was kind of fun because there was another school at this bar, and I knew them. So that was fun. And we sang for about an hour or so, and it was so good because I like to sing old songs from the Showa period. So that's like people from the 60s, not people from this, well, yeah, people from the 60s, people born who are 60 is what I want to say, or older. I think that generation, it's like ABBA, basically. I love that music, so it's fun to sing with people who are from that era. So we sang many songs. I did duets with the teachers. It was just a great time of karaoke. I was, happy, and I could walk straight, but it was a bit weird walking. I don't get drunk often, so this is a fun experience for me. I took a taxi home. I made myself toast when I got home, and I had a great night. A great night and a great start to the birthday. The next day I did not get up for, 2 hours, even though I woke up at 6:30 because of the alcohol, I think. But I stayed up until like 11:30. I got ready. I went to McDonald's. I had my, meal of champions, lunch and breakfast combined, except they didn't have any milkshakes, so I couldn't get what I usually get. But I had 15 chicken nuggets, which was quite a lot actually. I kind of felt sick after it. And it was great. And then after, I just had enough time to look at the bookstore, and I got 2 books because I knew what one I wanted. I wanted a book called Kokuhaku, and it's one that my friend suggested, and I kind of forget the contents of it actually, but it's I'll let you know when I finish reading it because I kind of forget, but it's a really interesting book and definitely like something I could read in a month because it's pretty easy. So I got that, and then I was looking around for something else, and I found a nonfiction book that kind of seemed interesting. It's something about talking about our idols, or our oshis, I guess, our heroes in pop culture, and how that works, how we can talk about them. And it's just a linguistic-y kind of book, which I like because I used to do linguistics, so it's right up my alley. I'm very interested in reading it, but I am trying to finish my other book that I'm reading now. So I've been reading that every day, and I'm almost done. I think almost finished. So that's great. I'm gonna, read after this with my cookie. And yeah, I don't think anything super exciting happened after my birthday, but I've been watching Harry Potter. I think I maybe talked about that as well last week, but my elementary school teacher showed the kids the first Harry Potter movie, and because of that, I kind of wanted to rewatch them. So that's what I've been doing. I watched one movie, maybe I watched 2 actually. I finished the first one, watched the second one on Thursday, and then I watched 3 and 4 on Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I didn't watch anything. Monday, I watched 6 or no, 5. Yeah, 5. The one where Harry Potter goes to trial and Dolores Umbridge. Yeah. So far I've only watched up to 5, so my favorite is 4 for sure. 4 is really, really good. A really good movie. Actually 3 wasn't that great. Yeah. 3 was just not good. I'll tell you why later, but I can't really put it into words right now. But right now, 4 is my favorite. 2 is my least favorite. All right. I think we're going to leave that there. But if you have watched Harry Potter, please let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. But until then, I will see you later.